We are back with another RecBuzz Executive Interview Series. My name is Brandon Mitchell, co-founder and CEO here at RecBuzz, and we are at RecBuzz 2024 in Barcelona, Spain. I'm really hearing from some of the best and brightest minds across the talent acquisition and the HR tech space. And the purpose of these interviews is to really highlight, the stories of the folks that are building just incredible technology and doing incredible things. And I'm super excited to have Nicolas Deturck here, the CEO of Coaching Quest, and excited to have you. Pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Brandon.
Excellent.
Nice to meet you.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit more about Coaching Quest and some of the things that you all do and why you're here at RecBuzz?
Well, we started the company 3 months ago, so we are really a really young venture.
Okay.
And focusing on the coaching industry because we want to make coaching accessible for everybody because of the impact of coaching. I don't know if you were coached in the past, so it really changed your life. It really has an impact in achieving objectives and so on. I'm over 40, and so it's like my purpose nowadays to make sure that people can be coached. And so it's a mix of building a marketplace and offering services for the coaches in terms of jobs that we deliver to them, but also the empowerment of coaches in regards to the marketing and sales capabilities, which they are missing most of the time.
Yeah, I love that. And so it seems that you all have a big thesis on coaching, right? And I think coaching is important. I look at, my career. I started my career at PwC, which is one of the global accounting firms. They all across the world. And I was a tech consultant, and even just myself, when I was a first-year associate, I had a peer coach, I had a relationship coach, I had a partner coach, and then every specific team that I was on, I was also coached. And so I personally understand the importance of coaching. And so as it relates to the kind of industry, are you all providing coaches for the job seekers, or are you essentially giving coaches a way to find clients? Can you kind of talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's in fact a mix. As you just explained, it's a mix of life and business coaching.
Right.
If we specifically look at the job markets, generally speaking, there you have what we call career coaching, which helps candidates to find the right job. Yes. It's not only by finding a new job just because of an increase of salary. It's finding really the purpose in your life and to find the job that is aligned with that. And if we look at the company side, coaching is also essential to make sure that there's a perfect match between the candidates and the philosophy, the objectives of the company, to make sure that the empowerment is as quick as possible and that the fit is perfect at the end.
Yeah, I love that. And we know a little bit about career coaches here at RightSea. We integrate with job boards, and we provide some of the candidates opportunities to get some career coaching or just kind of self-service tools to help them in their career. So I have a big philosophy and thesis on coaching as well, and the power of that to really help, advance yourself. And I love when you say coach, because there's career coaches, there's life coaches, there's relationship coaches, there's all types of coaches. And so can you talk about who your ideal customer is, right? And so I know there's candidates, there's employers. Who do you like to work with and why?
I would say there's no preference, honestly. The ideal candidate is the one that's there to be coached. Coaching is not obvious nowadays. So when you have a broken car, you go to the mechanic.
Of course.
But when do you apply for a coach in your life? It's not that normal, I would say.
100%.
So I would say the ideal customer is the one that is open to achieve those objectives and to be helped to reach them by themselves. And so size doesn't matter. If I look at companies, it's really to help them achieve those objectives and put them in relation with the perfect match.
Of course, but there has to be, a specific company that you like, right? And I say that because you have Fortune 500 companies that are the massive companies that might have budgets for, performance management or professional development per se, that can say, I love this. Let's give 10,000 employees access to coaches. But then you also have SMBs that are maybe like a mom and pop shop that only has 5 to 20 employees who they may or may not have the budget, but the CEO or the person running it is I would love to have coaches for my staff. So in that mix, is there just or even a niche, right? That's hey, we love to provide marketing professionals with coaches, or are you just completely agnostic?
Well, I would say on personal level, I love to coach startups because the two founders of Coaching Quest, we are coaches. So in fact, we developed something for ourselves first, and then it's applying on a need of the market. I love startups because of the energy you receive back from the founders. But I would say, generally speaking, there's no preference to have, big companies or SMEs or whatever. the attitude of a coach is to help achieve those objectives. And so it doesn't matter how big you are or how much money you have, it's really helping them.
Can you walk us through, so what does it look like? I'm let's say a candidate that is looking to be coached. What does the first 30 days look like for the coaching experience? And then is it like, are these year-long coaching experiences? Like, can you talk about how that works and maybe what makes your coaching a little bit different?
Well, I would say the first thing is that you need to understand what is your real situation today. What is the topic you want to be coached on? Once you identify that, you have a selection of coaches that answer that need or that potential achievement. And so it's making the first selection of the coaches. A selection starts always with what we call an introductory section, where you have 30 minutes to call with a coach to find the chemistry that is really important in a coaching session. Once the chemistry is validated, then you can start your coaching journey with the coach. And then I would say there's no standard rule saying it will take 3 months, 6 months to achieve the objectives. First, it depends on the objective. And secondly, it depends also on your investment as a coachee to achieve those objectives, So you can be coached on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. It depends on your own agenda at the end.
I love that. So you can kind of set the cadence, you set the objectives, you have like this introductory kind of exploratory conversation, and then you get started. How much does it cost to get coached? Is there, and who pays? Is it the employer? Is it the candidate?
Well, I would say I will not present like numbers because it's really tough. We are positioning on the European market.
Right.
The rates are really different. If we look at Portugal or the UK or Netherlands, it's really different. The difference is there. Who's paying? Well, if we look at the B2B activity, well, it can be a mix. It can be the employer that invests in his employees saying, I pay coaching sessions for you because I want you to take more responsibility, because coaching is not only about the human impact it has, but also on the business impact it can have in terms of performance. And so there are this situation we found out so far is the company pays 50%, the employee 50%, or the company pays the total amount at the end.
Yeah, and I love that because, when you have to pay for something, it's a little bit of like a micro commitment, right? And so I love that, you're looking at the model to say, well, as an employee, like you should want this. And so if you are paying for it, then you have a motivator to, fulfill it and to, attend the sessions and to take it serious if there's any homework that you need to do after your coaching sessions, because it's really about developing yourself. And then also from the employer perspective to say, you know what, I believe in the power of making folks better, right? And then even at RightSea, we try and do this as much as we can, whether it's retreats or allowing, our employees internally to have access to, someone to talk to. Because I think what's interesting, when you talk about, coaching startup teams, for us, we have about, 12 or 15 full-time people in the United States. And a lot of our people are, let's say, first-time managers. And so even managerial coaching is really important to be able to unlock some of the things that you may never know because you never were a manager. And so I love that opportunity where even I look at myself as an employer, and I would employ all employers to think about how that you can, essentially bridge that kind of coaching gap, especially if you don't have enough people internally to coach. And so I love that as like a business model. It's very unique to split, kind of who kind of pays for that. And so can you talk just a little bit more about your short-term goals? I know you guys said you're 3 months in, you guys are ripping and running, crushing it. What's on the agenda for the rest of this year or for the next kind of few months? Can you talk about goals? So we'd love to know some of your goals.
Indeed.
As well.
We had initially a plan before we started. So the plan for this year was reaching 15 markets in Europe with an objective of 250 coaches joining the community. But it accelerates really fast. So the plan is a little bit changing. So we need to really to be agile.
Really set your goals.
It's like amazing. There are coaches from markets joining the community that we were not expecting at the end. So it validates the fact that what we are doing is right for the industry, because what is missing? We are playing on 3 levels. The first level is education, because if people don't understand what coaching is, they can't apply for a coach at the end. So education is pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 is visibility, thanks to the marketplace and a lot of features we are providing to the coaches. And then the third one is we are also a broker, just to use a standard terminology. So we bring coaching missions to the coaches in our community. So our plan is like reaching those 250 coaches in Europe, but I have the feeling it will go faster than expected.
And I believe it will as well. And so really, when I look at what you all are doing, you're really the bridge, you're the connector, you're the provider between the coaches and the coachees, and facilitating that relationship and helping people really excel in their livelihoods. And I really love that as a core thesis of what you all are doing. Nicolas, this has been amazing. Can you tell everybody how to contact you and how to find you if they'd love to learn a little more about Coaching Quest?
They can visit coachingquest.eu. All the information is over there, or just reach out to through LinkedIn. My name is Nicolas Deturck, Deturck, and pleased to connect. And yeah,
I love that.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
So much.
I appreciate it.
Really appreciate having you here. This is the RecBuzz Executive Interview Series, where we honestly highlight, incredible stories of not just executives that are, running massive companies, but also startup founders that are killing it from the beginning. And so thank you so much for coming and stopping by, and we'll see you soon. Excellent.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.